Yo, you tuning into the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D. Spill, here with my co-host in the building,
Jelani Evans.
Farmer Poe, what's happening?
What's happening with y'all fellas, man? What's up?
Maintaining, staying out of the way, doing our best to stay cool in this heat.
Nah, yeah, it's been a little extra hot. A little extra.
Yeah, somebody need to turn the heat down, man, and get some worldwide AC going on about this joint, because we need to make some changes, man. Somebody call Tony Stark.
I definitely been making changes, staying in the house.
That's one. I mean, these power outages ain't handling. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
You been getting hit with any of those, Poe?
Nah.
Yeah, they've been tripping over here, man.
In the South area. Nah, I'm good. I'm right by the hospital, so I'm on the same grid as the hospital. So when the power go out, we are the priority.
Oh.
Yeah, you got to get us back on. Yeah.
I mean, they do have backup generators.
The hospital.
He's just unified with the hospital. Yeah, they got to get us
No,
back
I'm saying
on.
it's in the same grid. So anybody that's around the hospital, they're a priority because they're so close.
True.
That they have. Yeah, it's not like our power is connected to the hospital power.
When our powers combine.
They got their own thing going on over here. I think they self-efficient.
Me and Mercy, we like neighbors. We cousins, so
we go way back
on the same page when they. Nah.
My name on the grid.
Nah, we ain't had no power outage.
That's real, man. Well, let's dive right into it, man. Trump, man. This man Trump, he finally that mugshot. I just got some more news about that, but that mugshot is up. They finally booked your boy.
Yeah, we got to break this down in parts because I haven't really been giving a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But the night I saw the mugshot, I was sitting there smoking, chilling, and I didn't expect to see the mugshot. Like I knew they was booking them and everything, and part of the booking process is you do have it. But when I saw it, it just had me trip. I dropped my phone.
Oh,
because
that orange?
New screen.
I was on the carpet.
New screen, ASAP.
I was on the carpet. But for me, it was just the symbolism, like the image of a person of such power, I guess you want to say, because I don't want to, give them too much power. But that is an image that will live on for the rest of history.
So, what does that say about the country? What does that say about America booking a president?
To me,
former president. I'm sorry.
I correlate
anybody can get it.
Yeah. That's a real message.
Yeah.
But there's a lot that's going on, and for me, it's the historical part of it. Like, this is going to go down in history, that we've never seen this before, and then also just the mugshot itself was crazy. Like, he looked like the face he was making and all that. It was.
He looked irritated.
Yeah, he was trying to. Man, but then also to me, like, I see what they're trying to do. As long as they get him a felony, and let me see it. Yeah, man, that looks.
So
like
I have.
On it. Look how the lighting on it. How they got his hair looking nice right there.
I have.
So
I have an amazing point that I want to make, but I'm gonna save it regarding Larry Elder, because we talked about Larry Elder last week, and I have an amazing point I want to make. So, but I mean, I agree. Anybody can get it is what it's looking like.
Anybody can get it.
But did you know, because of that mugshot, I believe what I read is his campaign raised $7 million.
I mean, it's gonna
$7 million.
Is it the free Trump campaign? Like,
I mean,
because his followers are the type to where, all right,
I need those.
Yeah, if they believe that there's a
we need those
conspiracy or whatever against Trump, this is doing nothing but adding fuel to the fire.
You believe there's a conspiracy?
That's a new standard.
I believe there's a conspiracy? Yeah, for sure. They are conspiring together. Yes, for sure.
I have a new standard.
Theory, as a theory, I don't know. I don't even think about it. But as far as actual conspiracy, they are conspiring together to actually try to, like, take him down in a sense. But I don't think of it in the sense of where they, like.
I feel like if they got a mugshot, he kind of down already. They just gotta keep him there. Like, yeah. I mean, he did post a $200,000 bail though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Hell, but
I mean,
2 bands. I'm gonna just be there.
Nah, he got.
I think it would have been crazy if he had to play California Love when he was leaving.
Pay the 200.
Yeah, it's. No,
he got
saying,
it.
Though,
He got to pay the 200.
That's steep.
Here's my thing. Larry Elder was on the Breakfast Club. Last episode, me and Jelani talked about it. And one of the questions that was asked to Larry Elder was the system. He talked about the system. You know, and who controls the system and all this other stuff. And he kept dodging them. He was like Neo in the Matrix. He was just dodging all of the, answering all these questions. So I just wonder, as much as we've talked about the system as far as African Americans and how it's this and how it's that, and it was like we need to work harder, and there isn't really a system like conspiring against us and all that other stuff. I want to know if they feel the same way now that former President Trump is being booked. Is that system? Is the system fair?
Efficient. We got him, guys.
We got him.
So you asking if the system is fair because they were able to
Well, I'm asking I'm asking that question towards people that had something to say about how we would talk about the system, how black folks would talk about the system.
We have a tendency to say the system isn't fair, and they will argue that the system is set up a certain way and it operates as it's supposed to.
Yeah,
right. And
you just got to make the right decisions, right?
So now that somebody of the Caucasian variety higher up, I guess would you present him to be a 1%er?
Yeah, has
been caught up in the system, and they booked him, mugshot, charges pending. I think about 12 of them. Is that same system that we said was unfair, and you said, nah, it's good? Is that system still good, or now are y'all feeling some type of way?
They might have an argument against that.
Oh, all of a sudden?
No, I'm gonna say they're gonna say that it's Fannie Mae, so they gotta have somebody Fannie Mae in Atlanta or Georgia in Clayton County or whatever is the one who's going against it. So even if someone was to say, yeah, the system is working or whatever, somebody else is going to say, well, it's a black woman after. So until somebody white goes after somebody white, then the system ain't perfect or whatever.
I mean, I feel like the people in charge of the system are the same hue as Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I'm not part of that argument, but as far as, just having an out, they might say something like that.
Yeah, it ain't a strong enough out. But I do hear people trying to say that. Yeah. But nah, it ain't working with us.
The system is flawed. Well, it's been flawed depending on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of politicians
now that it's
prison.
affecting you, it's flawed.
Ouch.
Right?
Now it hurts. Crazy.
It don't matter until it reach you.
Do you think I feel like he got momentum behind this.
For sure.
I do.
For sure.
It's crazy as it sounds. It's like,
well, it's not even crazy. He's been put back in the public eye. Right?
He's like their Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? He's like their Ice Cube. They got their own Ice Cube,
I don't know, because I feel
fighting against the system. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like Ice Cube ain't got that type of support from everybody. That's the same hue. I don't feel like, what I'm saying? I seen a lot of arguing and pushback as to what he was trying to do when he was trying to work with the Trump and Biden campaigns. Yeah. He was trying to deal with both of them and see who had the better
who's going to provide the most for us specifically as a group.
Yeah, who will understand what it is that he's working towards on behalf of us, and who would be willing to support that, back him, and help him get to a place of destination behind what it is he wanted to do. Yep. And so he was looking to work with both. In the midst of that, there were a lot of people that was like, nah, he's a Trump supporter and woo, when it wasn't so much supporting as in seeing who he could work with, who had his best interest in mind on our behalf.
Those are people who have no plans, because all of those people who say that, if you speak to them, then you are, even if you have a meeting, like, don't y'all know that these countries that go to war They top leaders sit in the office together and they talk. They drink tea and shit like that, and they have a conversation, whatever it is, while their country is sitting there going to war. They're like the leaders of these countries can sit and have a conversation.
Yeah, they're not the one that got to go to war. Yeah.
Yeah, they might be both saying, "Yeah, we finna go fuck each other up," but the conversation is there.
More tea?
Yeah. Like,
No, that's real. But I think that, I mean, I agree with both points because when, first of all, they kind of burned Cube. They went out on Twitter and social media saying, "Oh, we got Ice Cube support," when he says, "Okay, I'll hear you guys out since the other side won't."
And that's another thing, right?
Yeah.
And so, and in the midst of that, right, there were a lot of other celebrities and activists and whatnot who were taking shots at what it is Q was trying to do, and he was like, "Well, then why don't you help me?
Oh, hell yeah!
Be a part of
yeah,
it.
Fox Soul.
Why don't
the
you,
hyenas
like,
on Fox Soul did? Yeah.
Why don't you collaborate with me? Why don't we address this together?" And they didn't want to work with him. And that's one of them things where it's like, how are you going to complain about something but not provide any answers or help?
One of my biggest pet
solutions,
peeves,
right? And that's like,
Yeah.
you're not doing X, Y, and Z. And what about this, that, and this? And like, okay, well, you're right. All right, you have a right. You're right. Come help me. Nah, I don't want no part. Well, then shut the.
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
say
It was
anything.
Claudia Jordan and Vivica Fox and all of them on Fox Soul. They interviewed Ice Cube, and they were saying he didn't have anything for black women specifically.
That
And
was
Ice
impactful.
Cube said, "Hold on, are black women not black people?" And it was like, nah. And they sounded like the hyenas on Lion King.
well, they were put there to create dissension.
Absolutely.
For sure. That's the only reason Vivica Fox is used on those
She's
shows.
washed.
Yeah.
She's used as a pawn to create dissension between black men and women.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I guess when you're not getting roles,
I mean, she's getting them, but
we ain't seen.
I'm a chill.
She is no. You're right. No,
I'm
you're
gonna relax.
not. You're right, bro. She's going crazy on Tubi right now. So shout out to her, man. She's got a lot of stuff on Tubi. So yeah, she's still got it.
No.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't. Just like a blowfish. Moving on.
I don't want to say it.
And the crazy thing
I
is,
will.
Poe said he was going to rest.
Yeah, he said he was.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
bought a full clip.
it's gonna be an interesting next year and some change. Of
Shit, it's gonna be an interesting next couple months. They start, the November is when they get this shit started.
Yeah.
For the next year,
They
it's
finna
really
get it popping.
finna start popping off. And every year since we had this damn COVID shit pop off, and nothing should ever be assumed. We should not. There is.
I mean, I assume they always up to something. So
There
I mean,
will.
like,
Something will occur. This is
they're
just
talking
a
about.
cycle.
They're talking about a raising COVID numbers, new strains of COVID. Like there are
sure.
people in politics that want COVID to return somewhere to
Oh shit.
where it was. Like
Check it out.
because there are so many people who benefited financially from COVID,
Nah.
right?
Yes, but you just had me come to a realization, bro.
Here we go.
My nigga.
Poe theories, everybody. Go ahead, brother. You got the floor.
Y'all been peeping the all right, y'all saw the series, I think it was last year, with Kevin Costner about OxyContin?
No.
What?
You didn't
All
tell
right,
us about
so
it.
look, I thought I
Hater.
did. All right, I don't remember the name of the show. I'm gonna try to do it quick as possible to get us to where we're supposed to be at.
Okay.
There's a show, Kevin Costner came out, he was a doctor in the show, and it was about the Sackler family, who were the ones who produced Purdue Pharma, right?
Okay.
OxyContin. In the 90s, they went around, the Sackler family, their patent for their painkiller was going to end. The monarch of the family was the one who created this patent, and so the family inherited all this money and the business. They weren't just as intelligent, but there was one who came up with an idea, because the patent's going to end. We got to figure out what we're going to do, right?
Right.
So what they did was they went and convinced the doctors that this new drug that they were going to create would be a painkiller, but it wasn't addictive. It was OxyContin.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like morphine, but morphine, you correlate that with death most of the time. So they created a whole new drug, right? Got everybody hooked on OxyContin. Very good show. So now there's a new show out, and it's called Painkiller. You should watch it.
We were about to watch it last night.
I'm already on the
but I
first two
wanted to
episodes
watch
when I
Memory
left the
by
house.
Liam Neeson.
I left the house just.
I haven't watched the
watching that.
CSI.
But look, so in that show, this is now from the perspective of one of the investigators.
Okay.
So what happened with OxyContin is they gave it in a certain milligrams, and then sometime later they increased the dosage of the milligrams. So they weren't giving people more than like 10 milligrams. Then
Okay.
they went to the doctors and told the doctors, now give them 50. And so the reason I'm bringing all that together is COVID. We got hit with these vaccines. And now what they're going to do is, hey, there's a new strand. You have to go and get vaccinated. And that's what they're going to continue to do, is they're going to create new strands, and they're going to create new reasons for us to get vaccinated.
Oh, so much for the views on this video. Go ahead.
The kickback is to the, obviously, to the pharmaceutical companies.
Let it all out now.
And yeah, man, that's crazy, man. Did you take the vaccine?
Nah.
You took the vaccine? And we might have to go figure some shit out, man.
Well,
Because at the end of the day,
What you
we
mean?
don't.
You supposed to be an herbalist, farmer Poe?
Yeah,
You
man.
better what?
They had me in a stronghold. They said they had me in a stronghold.
That's when you're supposed to make
workplace.
a all
At the
natural.
workplace.
You're supposed to make an all natural vaccine and combat.
You know, it's one of
so
those.
you got the
things
VC points?
You get the clove oil and the
You got your VC points?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Well, I'm gonna need you to make some kind of flour concoction because I'm not doing too many of these, man. So
even know what
whatever
this is.
collard greens you
Got
need
a
to put
flour
together,
concoction for you.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. Give me the heart shaped herb, Harold,
It's very herbal.
so I can have the strength of the Black Panther. Whatever you got to
T'Challa.
do, whatever you got to do, man. Just make them heart shaped herbs so we good.
Bro, it's
Herbs, my bad. Heart shaped herbs.
yeah, because the vaccine, we would not have it.
I say we will not have it. Me Mbaku, the Jabari tribe. We will not have it.
bro, we got duped, bro.
Mapa.
Yeah, that's wild though.
Those of us who had needed our 9 to 5s, our jobs, careers, employment, we were put into a corner, and we really had options. But at the time, it's what is the best choice for right now?
Well, it was a
Especially-
lot of stuff was driven off of fear too. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's like, yo, you need to do this. And I mean, there's a lot of videos out now talking about, that particular thing that I don't want to get too deep into, where they're starting to show results. But I will say I've been on the other side, and I know, well, we all have been on the have experienced somebody that is not here anymore from having the virus. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where what I try not to do is I try not to pick a side in what somebody should or should not be doing, because I know I have somebody close to me right now that's struggling with Coco 19. You feel me? And so losing people and seeing people struggling with it, and also having it myself at one point, because I did catch it last year.
Definitely caught it.
You know what I mean?
Which
So
one
it's
you
just,
caught it last year?
I caught it last year. It was a
so
very
you had
rough time when I caught it
2022?
too. Yeah.
Yeah, your shit, you didn't
this
have the
year.
pure. You had that. Your shit was stepped on.
Yeah, I didn't have Blue Magic. I didn't get the Blue
I got
Magic.
the pure.
Yeah, I didn't get Blue
I
Magic.
didn't, mine was
Now, actually,
definitely
you know what?
stepped
My
on
shit
'cause
might
I
have been
didn't-
stepped on too,
Yeah.
because I didn't die. The first
Well,
people.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had it early this year in February. And, yeah. But it was like, it felt like I was just congested.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like I was extremely sick on my deathbed or anything. I just felt like I had a nose cold, and like a couple of days I was lethargic. You know what I'm saying? I did have an episode though where I was experiencing something that I normally do as far as my health goes, but it seemed to be a lot more intense.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I can say is like I had a relapse, and in that relapse, the pain that I'm used to experiencing
intensified.
Amplified.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, I wasn't like coughing all over the place or hacking. I didn't have trouble with breathing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of things that I've heard expressed from people who had COVID and the symptoms and everything, I didn't have all of that.
See, I had mild versions of what I've heard prior to getting it.
Yeah, I had it in 20.
20.
I think I had it in 2020.
Yeah, because we was in the group text and the homie was like, "Oh, you got the Roni."
I think I had it in 2020, bro.
I don't know. You say it stepped on you. Might have.
Yeah, I think I got it in the summer of 2020 or 21. Mine was I feel like I know exactly the moment I got it, bro. Like I was
at a party.
I went to Esther's Park, and I'm with your mans, right?
Nah, not algorithm.
No.
Okay, I about to say I was there.
No,
He went to Outer Rhythm because he was tired when he got home.
It might have been one of them. So
Because remember, I saw you there.
Yeah. It might have been one of those. So dance floor, everybody's in the crowd. I end up forgetting. Like I was trying to stay away from the crowds, but my two steps started walking me to the dance floor.
He saw a shorty.
Yeah.
Man, I come out of the it's like smoke, people smoking and stuff. So I step out of the little crowd. Your man's leaning up against the fence. He was like, I went like this. But the cough felt like different. It didn't hurt, but it just felt different. And your man's looked at me and said, "You got COVID."
Shit off Batman. Go ahead.
I said, "You got COVID." Like the way he was looking at me, and I didn't know he was peeping me. Like he was like, "Yeah, you got COVID, nigga." And the next morning, I had woke up. Like the morning of the next day, get up. It's hot as hell. I'm driving home. I'm feeling light. Hands turning yellow. I'm getting cold and then hot. Cold and then hot. I get home. I don't feel like eating. I don't feel like doing nothing. I'm out on the couch for 3 days. I'm sweating, but then I'm cold. And then I have like a nauseous pain right here. Like a sinus pain.
Sinus. That's just sinus.
Yeah, it was all right here. And that was for 3 days. Yeah.
Sheesh.
So you went and got tested and found out you had the Coco 19.
Sure, and I lived across the street from the hospital, drove over there, got it. Got that message on the phone from KP. Yeah.
They told you to go see the Jamaican dude Bushmaster about a secret serum.
Yeah, it was 2020.
It was 20. I remember it was 2020.
Because we were, my boss kept asking me if I had gotten my shot yet, and I was like, nah. I kept trying to figure it out. I work in the nursing department at the school and work with nurses, but I'm a Generation X baby, so I don't trust government, and I think conspiracies or something like that. But then there's the logic part, and I was torn. So yeah, man, it was bad.
Yeah, it was, man. It was, yeah. I remember you shot us the text, and I was just like, all right, man, it was good having you on the show.
That's how you respond.
It's good having you on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that
continue to tune in.
That jacket you had.
Make sure you like and subscribe and turn your notifications on, brother.
Hey, can I ask your mom if I can have that jacket?
It was straight up, man. Yeah, that was some drama, dog.
Yeah. The video joke, man.
I don't know how much you know about Veronica Shaw, and I was really interested to hearing your opinion as well, because you do things in the kitchen as well. This woman invented the pink sauce, and it was a trend all over social media, mainly on TikTok. This pink sauce dressing.
Was it a trend or was it just like hyped?
Hype. I'll take hype. I'll take hype.
There was a lot of stuff going on, like on the good side and the bad side, but it had its like little 15 seconds in the spotlight.
Yeah. And apparently she got her sauce into, she did a deal, got her sauce into Walmart, doing a deal with somebody. Sounds like she didn't read her contract.
Boom.
And she was also getting complaints prior to that, because people were saying they was getting the sauce and it was stinking because it was spoiling by the time it got to them.
This is before she got the deal, correct?
Yeah, before she got the deal.
The way that she was operating and shipping out, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the way that she was doing things before she got the deal weren't up to par.
Yeah, she wasn't fine.
Like
She
it wasn't being
wasn't
stored correctly. It didn't have the right preservatives.
Temperature.
Like, you know what I'm
food
saying? Yeah.
safety issues. I work in an area where food safety is huge. We literally just did our tests that we got to take every year for food safety. And let me tell you, the way she was operating in that kitchen, it was like, yo, like, are you sure you not making the other stuff that they made in the 80s? Because you are not making, this is not, you know what I mean? This is not how this, nothing, it just, it was terrible. It was terrible. And because for something to spoil during shipping, you're doing something wrong, or there's an ingredient that you're not including in the ingredients that's causing it to spoil, right?
It's most likely,
Or you made it and you just sitting on it.
Yeah, nasty,
hoping for sales.
right?
It's
Not t-shirts, ma'am.
Most likely temperature. She ain't doing something when it comes to either
how you storing it,
shipping, all of that.
The interesting thing about it, because me and Jelani, we've talked about different things on Boss Talk. This is a person of color running a business, and you always hear the narrative about support black businesses and all this drama. The thing is now she did this deal. She hasn't been paid for the deal, which is kind of ironic because she had so much to say about the people criticizing, you know, her product, which they rightfully should be able to if they're getting spoiled product.
Yeah.
And she is now broke, and she started a GoFundMe for a little over $100,000. Says she can't feed her kids, and back to school's coming up, and all of this drama. And for me, I'll go first. For me, it was just frustrating for somebody that owns a small business, because it's like, why are you even operating in a position to where this is even happening?
I ain't gonna lie, I don't like the GoFundMe thing, man. That shit cheating.
Yeah, it is.
That shit is cheating. I don't like, GoFundMe for me, even though that's not the question you asked, that just jumped out and I was like,
I mean, like, all right, so
I hate that shit.
Let's really get into it, right? Because at the end of the day, first of all, you should have made sure that whatever deal, contract, partnership that you was getting to with the people made sense. There was no loopholes, and a certain amount was guaranteed off top. I feel like, right? No lawyer? Now, secondly, I don't think so, which doesn't make any sense at all either. Secondly, I heard that the people responding, they said she's been paid around $120,000, and she gets paid according to the contract and how that's set up.
Yeah.
I don't know what those numbers may be or what that may be specifically, but if she got paid $120,000 and she's broke now, that means she mismanaged her money. And if you were to go on her social media, you would see how she was operating as if she had some money at one point and now she doesn't. So then that means a mismanagement of funds.
Yeah, because $120,000, that's nothing. That's pocket change for what you gonna need for a business of that size if you're trying to move through.
Well, the thing about it is, though, that's part of the reason why she has a partnership, right? So that they can. But what I'm saying though is, like, you went into a partnership without thoroughly understanding the contract, and you probably expected more than what was given, right? Due to your misunderstanding of the contract. And so then moving forward, you get a lump sum possibly.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you just getting paid. You know what I'm saying? I think you getting paid, like, I don't want to say.
You might get paid every quarter, annually.
Something to that effect, right? You get a lump sum up front, and then depending on how the sales and everything moves and goes from there, you'll get paid quarterly, right? Annually, biannually, whatever the case may be. But what it is I feel like there was a lack of understanding and a mismanagement of funds. And now that you're in this situation, you're trying to put together a GoFundMe. And are you expecting the same people that you were talking smack to, who were trying to give you not so much criticism, but some advice, constructive criticism, if anything, right?
Yeah. The thing that frustrates me about that is you not only are you just asking people on GoFundMe, which I agree with you, Poe. To a certain degree, I do despise GoFundMe. There's some good things that come out of it that really is needed, but for the most part, people abuse it. And you have the audacity to ask the people that you were talking down to that you should have been listening to their complaints and their issues, 9 to 5 working people to help you so you can keep your business afloat.
Yeah, I got a question. Because this will help me determine something. What was the thing that got her business to kind of blow up? Was it
social media?
Social media.
Social media was the catalyst,
Okay.
right, for it, or the marketing tool. So, did it taste good?
I don't know, because
Couldn't
there's been
answer
more
that question.
there's been more negativity surrounding. I'm gonna be honest. I heard about her because of the negativity.
Because this is my thing. So, like, because if her product was good, I could see where, maybe she got in over her head.
Yeah.
And may not have been able to, work at that capacity. But if it's really just people just hyping this shit, it's like, you should have been wanting to, like, figure out. I guess.
But you know how things are in this day and age, right?
If you get an opportunity,
if there's a lot of hype behind it on social media, you look to capitalize on it. Now, because there's hype doesn't mean that it's great, that it's good, that it's going to go far. It's hype. The thing about hype is it dies down, and then you have to deal with the actual reality
So
of
you have to
whatever
move.
it is.
You have to move very, very
so
quick.
then, all
That's
right,
what
you
I'm
capitalize on it, right? But now, just because you capitalize on it, don't mean that the sauce is good or that it is cohesive with a lot of dishes and goes well, right? So now, if you made this deal and you got a lump sum up front and you're supposed to get paid off residuals or however your contract is set up, and it's sitting on shelves and the company is kind of losing money behind distribution and everything, then that means you don't have any money coming your way, right? Or am I wrong?
Oh no, you absolutely right.
So then, again, she got into this contract without having an understanding. Like, I bet she wasn't even continuing to market, campaign, or push her sauce being in stores and where it was available and how you can get a hold of it or anything like that. She got hype, she got the deal, and she left it alone, and it died.
Which is what a lot of people do on social media.
And now she's in a position to where she mismanaged her funds that she got in a lump sum, believing that there would be more. And now that there's not, she's in a situation where she created a GoFundMe. Now, the people that she was in partnership offered to pay her lawyer fees. I guess she got one after the fact. Pay for her lawyer fees for her to have a better understanding of the contract in place. And they also wanted to sit down and discuss things with her moving forward, right?
So
but
they
this
not
seems
doing-
like an
so-
after the fact type thing.
I've never even heard of that before.
Yeah, that means to me, it seems like, I'm just speculating. Anybody who's doing that is like, I gave you a good contract. I'm trying to help you understand this. Like, we gave you something and really the contract may not be good to what you think is good, but they might be giving you a jump start. You ain't gonna get what you deserve when you first jump in this.
Well,
like, don't nobody know you?
And then that's what I'm saying. Like, all right, it had hype. They partnered with you based off of the hype and look to help you gain more ground or go further, right? Level up. But there's definitely a role that you have to play in that. You can't just partner with somebody and expect them to do all the work. I made the sauce. Y'all go ahead and run it up. Make me a millionaire. It doesn't work like that.
A lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand business. I'm gonna get long-winded about this. This girl got popular because she was making this sauce and putting it on her food on TikTok, and then people they were inquiring about it because it's pink and it's all this other stuff.
What is that,
So
Pepto-Bismol?
yeah. So then when she realized, oh, okay, there's so many people inquiring about it, I could turn this into a problem. And that happens to a lot of people all day long. Like, you're doing something great, and then it's like no different than a painter. They're really good at painting something. It's like, yo, can you make me one? Can you make me one? Can you make me one? And then you start putting stuff together like, okay, I could really make a business out of this, right? But the problem that happens with a lot of people, especially people of our hue, is we think that just because we have a page and a logo and some, what's the word I'm looking for? It's in that book. Momentum. Right? That now we have a business. We're not trying to go get LLCs. We're not trying to get business licenses. We're not trying to talk to a CPA to manage your books. We're not talking to a business lawyer so you understand your contracts. We're not opening business accounts and savings accounts and tax accounts. So that way, because here's the thing, if you made $120,000 off of your business, you don't keep the whole $120,000. You still most likely got to pay state taxes, and then you got to pay federal taxes, and then you pay yourself a salary, which a lot of billionaires and millionaires start out with very low salaries so that they can continue to put into the business. And it's not until like the 4th, 5th, or maybe even 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th year that they actually start seeing a decent salary for themselves. We just people go in and think all the money is theirs, and then because they think all the money is theirs, they don't realize that they can write stuff off that they paid for. So then, even if you do take a loss, because when you make a lot of money, it's capital gains. When you lose a lot of money, it's capital loss taxes. So my message is to all of the people listening:
do better, and all of those things that I just explained to you is what needs to happen in business, and people don't understand that.
No, a lot of people don't have good business acumen,
and they don't try to.
Not at all.
So it's
because
like,
if they did, things would be in a lot better setting for a lot of different people. You have to have an understanding. You have to have business acumen. You have to understand the ins and outs, how things work in your favor and against you, and how to capitalize on it.
Right. And so now here you are, the audacity, GoFundMe. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go make fun of you. I'm not. No, we're not funding you, dude. And then that's.
Well, I go yourself.
Yeah, the GoFundMe for like a lot of.
I've seen a lot of people here local, and y'all better be glad I'm not saying your names, wanting GoFundMes for your music careers, for your equipment. You know what I'm saying? For your equipment, for whatever craft that you're in. And you know why I get hot and bothered about this stuff in the irritated way is because it's like,
I fund me
every day, just to turn around and some of y'all people can't even put a like or a comment or something.
Right.
And you want me, after I get off, pay my bills, take care of what I got to take care of, send you a couple of dollars, right? Because you having a hard time.
You said salaries. I was like, bro, my salary sucks. Mind you, I work for me.
Sometimes my salary is on a salad. You understand what I'm saying?
Nah, for real, because like you said, in order to keep the business running, to fund it, to make things happen, to be able to get supplies and equipment and level
operations,
up and
overhead,
yeah, you have to make sure that there is money in the business that stays in the business to continue to fund and operate the business.
Right.
So in a lot of those cases, yeah, your salary, if you have one, sometimes I don't get paid. The business, have all type of money. And I'll be at home roughing it. You know what I'm saying? Because
sardines and hot sauce.
No, we're not doing sardines. We're not doing bologna. We're not doing top ramen. It ain't that rough. It'd be rough at times, but not. No, we're not spamming it.
I'd rather not eat.
I fast sometimes. Sometimes.
Yo,
it's good for the immune system. You know what I'm saying? It helps you. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so it's definitely a lack of understanding to a lot of things business related,
right?
And that is the most frustrating part because a lot of people are too gung ho. They jump into things without an understanding, and they just think it's all gonna work out. When in actuality, business is so cutthroat.
It is.
It's extremely cutthroat. Like it's. Streets cutthroat, business is even more cutthroat.
Yep.
Like it's.
Yep.
It's
on to the next that fast if you're not paying attention.
What?
If you're not paying attention, it's
bro.
on.
Some people get into business with you thinking about the next because they're gonna capitalize off of you.
Yeah.
To get to
they need to get their issue and then they out.
Bro.
Yeah.
Sometimes that gets you out because you're the issue. Like it's wild.
Yeah.
And you have to have an understanding of business, and you have to be in a position to be able to protect yourself, and you can only do that if you have done your research. Gotta do your due diligence. You feel me? And you can't be so quick to jump into bed with anybody. And I mean that.
Whoa.
Yeah, both ways. Because when you're in a partnership, that would say you got in bed with somebody. Yeah. So you need to be careful of that. You feel me? You took it the other way, but it makes sense for that too.
Because you'll end up getting in so many ways too.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's a raw deal.
All right. Protect yourself at all costs, right?
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, man, that's real. I mean, I hope she learned her lesson, and I hope none of you suck. I hope none of you guys are being suckers out there. I looked at that scenario, and the only thing that I can think of when I see people in scenarios where they had hype, they had momentum, and then next thing you know, the next moment they are, oh, I need help with this, I need help with that. There's so many of us that don't get those opportunities,
bruh.
And to be real, if you really needed the money like that, you about a couple of hundred PP. What is it? The PPP loans or whatever.
And
man.
You about a few of those loans short now because everybody was getting them, and a lot of people didn't have businesses. So you real late on trying to get some bread out of people with the percentages rate going up and inflation. And food being expensive and everything. Like, you late,
bro. The economy is in a recession. Inflation is at an all, I don't want to say at an all-time high, but it's extremely high.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the economy is not being stimulated. It's actually being strangled. The money ain't there. The money's not there.
Y'all think if Trump get hired, we'll get a net?
My man said hired.
For what?
You think
we not even voting no more, man. We doing interviews.
Track record said you got an arrest. Oh.
Nah,
he's clean but dirty, but he's clean.
Yeah, he look dirty.
Is he gonna give us some more checks, man?
Yeah. All right. Before
that
we move
shit
on,
was coming in nice, bro.
Before we move on, let's just go ahead and talk about this. No.
Them checks
When that
nice.
guy was in office, the economy was definitely being stimulated.
Yes.
You understand? Everybody
For
had
sure.
money. It wasn't even just the PPP loans. Like, he was sending out checks and everything. He's like, wait, what a minute? Wait, what?
Yeah. I give him another check.
Send out 1,000 to everybody.
We're
not doing that.
Hey, Trump was like, keep that printer on.
We're not doing
Keep
that.
that printer on, man. We finna get some more. We finna print up some more francs. Keep that printer on.
He woke up and was like, you know what? You get 1,000.
Yeah.
You get 1,000. Everybody gets 1,000.
How many
Send
kids
out
you
the
got?
checks.
Give him another check.
Wait, we got account numbers? Oh, direct deposit.
Bro, it was
ASAP.
going up.
They ain't got an account, man. Yo, pull up Cash Apps. We're gonna make sure everybody eats. Everybody was eating when you didn't have any broke friends.
No, niggas was eating really.
You didn't have any broke friends when he was in office.
If you had EBT, they had this shit called PEBT. I don't know if your kids wasn't old enough.
Yeah.
Nigga, we still getting PEBT cards. The PEBT was a white card, had your kid's name on it.
What?
Like $400-500 something. The
That's
first
crazy.
ones, each kid had like $400-500.
And they still giving out these BET cards?
Well, if your kid didn't get it at the time, I just got Naturi's like last month.
That's wild.
But it was at least 3 cycles of those per kid.
So the pink sauce lady probably getting these BET cards.
Poe was in Whole Foods going crazy. He's in Sprouts running up.
Nah, niggas was at Costco's. What you mean? How you think I got?
Wow.
How you think I got those fruit trees in my backyard?
Wow.
He in there buying fruit trees on the kids.
You buying whole trees and soil.
Nigga.
My man say, yo.
He paid for delivery too. Yeah, y'all could just drop that off tomorrow.
Y'all want me to buy
noon.
groceries for this week? I want to buy groceries for the rest of my life with this.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? So I invested. Nah, real talk. I ain't no shame in my game. In case y'all didn't know, you could get a fruit tree from Costco's with your EBT card.
Look, he leveled up. You gotta check the catalog. You gotta check the catalog.
And one of them did try to say, "Sir, this isn't food." I said, "It's not hot." Swipe this shit.
He'd have been mad at me. I'm like, actually, it's about 94 degrees outside.
Real talk.
So.
Before I went in there, so I didn't look stupid, I actually did my research and looked it up.
You gotta do your research.
Because one day I was just like,
you gotta do your research.
nigga, I've been buying basil plants from the little grocery store. That's cool. I'm like, I wonder if a fucking fruit tree.
Learn something new every day, man. So they got BET cards.
It worked. The PEBT.
Okay.
That was on deck. He was giving out checks.
That's crazy. That's why they didn't sell it to your man. They got them BET cards they got to pay off.
And I kind of miss his.
You missed the antics, man. Yeah, I know. I knew you said that before.
We felt that same way about Bush.
He might they might hire him back, man.
If they rehire him,
they might hire him back, man. They might
y'all
realize they might feel they feel like it's false termination. They might hire him back. You know what I'm saying? And
bro, I mean, we gotta be honest. He ain't coming back, bro.
You don't think so?
Nah.
If he does, that nigga is the truth. If he can wiggle through all of that and still get hired,
yeah,
that's the president of the United States.
He'd be the first one hired. I'll tell you that.
That nigga's a criminal.
Glorilla. Glorilla.
She sound like a gorilla.
She decided to give these young ladies advice She's advising young ladies to be toxic in their 20s, because you only live once and you got to learn how are you going to be a better person if you don't learn from the toxic behavior that you're displaying. All right, fellas, go.
What?
Yeah.
All right. I'm not listening to nobody in their 20s about anything. I'm not taking advice from anybody in their 20s. First off, she's like, what, 24? Bro, like, she can't even rent a car by herself. I'm not listening to, you know, like, I'm sorry. It just, you haven't lived long enough to be. And then the thing about, listen to this, you're telling women to be toxic in their 20s. You know how many toxic women, or you know how many grown women who were toxic in their 20s now have cases and charges and whatnot and police records because they were toxic in their 20s, like, you know, damaging other people's property, being belligerent in public, and all of this other ignorant type of stuff.
They do have women's prisons.
Right? And so you, as somebody who isn't even 25 yet, is trying to tell other young ladies to be toxic. That's so crazy to me. Like, that's that doesn't even make any sense. You can learn from actually, you know, research and paying attention to how other people have gotten into situations. Like, you don't have to be toxic to actually grow and learn from that. That's I don't know if it's ignorant or it's just stupid.
She's probably trying to.
She said, "Be toxic in your 20s. You only live once." And then she said, "If you're delusional, up it a notch."
Yeah, she's definitely trying to get that endorsement deal from Snap.
Let me ask a question.
What's up?
Why are we listening to her? Why are y'all listening to her?
It came across my desk.
Do you think she was giving advice, or do you think she was saying, like, telling people to be okay with it?
Both.
Because I started thinking back to my 20s, man, and it was toxicity.
Yeah, but it wasn't intentional.
I think she might be saying, get that shit out your system now.
But the thing about it is, you shouldn't have it in your system. You should learn how not to be toxic and deal with situations in an adult manner, bro. Like, because once you're 21 and up, you are considered an adult, and there are consequences and repercussions for anything being toxic, even if it's not jail time.
Yeah.
That toxic shit was kind of fired on earlier. It was kind of fired.
Yo, look, I think
like 18 to 22. Toxic was kind of fire.
We didn't even know that was toxic.
That's what I'm saying.
We didn't even call it toxic back then.
It was just acting.
So the fact that you know that it's a word and a definition for it, and you're like, yeah, dive right into that, it's crazy to me. Now, I don't know what Glorilla from the Jabari tribe was thinking when because I feel like people turn their cameras on, man, because they see people go viral for saying some real stuff, and I feel like they think, you know what? It's almost like you having a conversation with the homie. It's like, man, I'm finna go live, man, because I'm on a roll right now, because the 3 people in your room is making you feel special. And then you get on the mic, right? You get on the camera and you say, yeah, man, be toxic, man. Embrace yourself. You know, live in your truth and be toxic. And it's just like,
I don't want to hear from somebody who couldn't pronounce. What city was that she couldn't pronounce? She was in the city one time, in a city performing.
And she couldn't pronounce the name of the city.
She kept trying to, like, how you say that shit again?
Yeah, that's who y'all getting y'all advice from. And the scary thing about that is, if you get, this is a person that has hundreds and thousands of people, young people following them.
It's the blind leading the blind, bro.
Yeah.
And then on top of all that, like, let's be honest, even though she's young and she might have had some experiences before she became a celebrity, now that she is one, there are a lot of issues and experiences she will not actually go through or have to deal with.
The average person,
her position. So for somebody who's probably doesn't have to be in a toxic situation or operate at a level of toxicity, to tell you to operate like that, it's almost like how all the city girls and Meg and all these females was telling you to act ratchet and do certain things. And then they at home with
and they don't hang out in no ratchet environments.
Bro, they be at home with their boyfriends and husbands, but they're out here talking about you should operate like this and have hella men and do this and operate like that. And it's just like, but wait, aren't you in a healthy relationship?
It brings us back full circle. So the message that's being put out, like when you said the end of like the decline of America.
Yeah,
this is part of that shit.
Yeah,
like obviously, sexual lyrics and music.
Succular music
has always been part of like the music.
Did you say succular?
I think it's secular.
Exactly.
I didn't want to. I was trying to leave it. I put the signal on and I turned.
Because I was like, wait a minute. I could have sworn there was an E, not a U.
Yeah. I know what I said.
All right.
I know what I said.
I was just making sure
Put the
that's what you
blinker on,
said.
bro. Get out of there.
I know what I said.
Get out of there.
Have y'all heard these songs?
I try not
I've heard
to.
some.
Yeah.
Of them.
That's why I
I've heard
said.
some of them.
So the crazy thing is this. I hear them in the most random of ways because it's usually with Reels or TikToks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't really, I've never really heard too many people, male or female, out in traffic and heard the songs.
If I'm
would
by
say
some young people I've heard them. Like if we had a light at the same time and
I'd be trying to drown them out with my music. That was,
the jazz just ain't got enough bass, man. I'm sorry, dog.
No, it ain't always jazz.
I'm talking about for me. You know what I mean?
Sexy Red, like her.
I do old school too.
Yeah.
She.
Pulling up at schools. Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, she's
It
she's
look like
horrible.
She look like she got hella Q-tips stuck behind her toilet and shit. Like there's hella toilet paper and Q-tips back there.
you already told us how you feel about her.
You definitely
Did
don't.
you say she looked like her room smells?
Yeah.
Like that?
I mean, Poe got something.
Like,
Poe's one of those people where it's like, hey, don't let her in here. You know, like if he had Harold's Herbs and Herbs,
yeah.
like I can see him
Yeah, I
like
mean,
saying,
like-
nah, she can't come in here.
Sexy
she looked like she
Red.
shoplift.
Yeah. Yeah.
My issue with her
And
is
she
like, how
just
you
started
making,
wearing glasses.
how you making all that money and like you be wearing these wigs and your edges ain't never really laid how they supposed to.
Nah. They was flaming her on the ground.
Like, what is
Go to her Instagram,
what's
bro.
going on, man?
You gotta get her. Go to her gram, bro.
Golly.
She
Anyways.
got all the true religions on, bro. She wear true.
What?
Because
Nigga,
when you
she
from the
wearing
hood,
true-
those are
No, nigga, she copping new pairs. She sporting True Religions, nigga. Every picture is a pair of True Religions or the rock star. Somebody was in their
What?
comments like, "What's going on?" Like, why you keep wearing those?
because
Like,
Her name is
True
Sexy
Religion-
Red, not Rich and Red. Like she ain't getting.
when you was in the hood at a
getting
certain
all the money.
time, True Religions was like a stature type thing,
yeah,
bro.
but she trying to bring them back.
because of how much they
She
cost,
needs to
right?
take them back.
I don't know if that are they still a thing. I don't know.
I don't-
Nah,
Yeah,
bro, nobody wear them. Them is like Jabos now.
Like
I'd wear
dudes
some
will get clowned by women for wearing
It's
some.
cool to bring them back. You know how
I'd wear
like a
some
song
Jabos.
that's like it's too early to call it old school, and you can't really play it no more because
Yeah.
it's kind of trash. Until you got to give it a few years to settle.
Yeah, it's almost like
Jabos, you can bring
FUBU.
them back and niggas be like, oh, remember them?
Yeah.
Like you pull out a pair of Trues and niggas gonna be like, what's going on? You like your paper right? You good? You need a few dollars.
I didn't know they.
Why didn't you start to go fund me, bro?
The double stitches.
That's wild.
My nigga.
I gotta do my research. I didn't know they were falling that
Yeah, do
far.
your homework.
Oh yeah.
Golly.
Remember they had a store at the mall, and I don't think there's a store at the
Nah,
mall.
it's a store at the mall still. They
It is. Is
they-
it?
True Religion?
Oh, they
just
selling like household
About to
products
say,
now.
Oh no, they
Who goes to the mall?
check it out. It's the stereo store.
Yeah,
bro.
that-
I had to go to the mall this weekend. Let me
Because
tell
you got kids.
I went to Roseville Gallery. I was trying to cop something for my daughter that be on.
Boom,
you know
you
what
got
I mean?
kids.
But I would have got it online, but I seen they had a couple of things in the store. I was going to Zara's. Get there, ain't nothing there. The mall is. We need to talk about the American Mall.
No, we don't.
Yeah, next
not
episode.
right now.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
But
I'm
we
just
got to
saying
talk
they-
about the American
We'll
Mall.
get to that.
Come on, man.
I mean,
We'll
still-
definitely.
You didn't. Come on. You know the mall used to be the.
They don't understand that
What-
because they're too busy being toxic.
Well, the thing is, man, it's not even that. It's too easy to find everything that you want online
And for
get
cheaper.
get it delivered, bro.
But
Yeah.
cheaper and more. You can find more of what they got in the store. You gonna find more.
More of it for a
There's more
cheaper
variety.
price. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
more
absolutely.
variety, right? There's more options, and
Yeah.
it's
You can take your time. I built my
Yeah,
cart
you could
for
be lazy.
2 weeks before I went and purchased them. Nah, I don't think I really want.
and keep getting emails. You forgot something.
nigga, look, something's left in your cart. Did you forget, motherfucker? I left it there for a reason.
I'm finna add to it. I'm just, like when you used to be in a grocery store and you leave your cart and you walk down another aisle to go grab a couple things and come back, put them back in the cart and keep on.
Yeah, hey, your email do be hitting you like you holding up the line.
Bruh. Like, you want that? Somebody else finna get that shit.
Just trying to put it in their cart. And
I told you it was one more left in stock,
and
nigga.
you got it in your cart. If you're not going to, just...
You want this shit or not?
Just remove it. Just remove it so we can...
They get mad. It's not available no more.
Your cart, somebody else can't see that it's available, nigga.
Man, they selling True Religions in Macy's.
My nigga, they selling Jordans on Walmart.com.
I thought I seen a pair in Target.
No.
Well, so
they're selling Jordans on Walmart.com.
They're getting old.
No, they're using Walmart as a platform. It comes from
Type in Walmart.com and then type in Jordans.
Yeah, but it's not shipping from Walmart.
But it's on there.
Yeah, but it's not shipping from Walmart. It's like there's a lot of stuff on Amazon.
Yes.
But there's a lot of third parties that are using Amazon as the platform. But they're doing the same thing with Walmart.
Crazy.
Yeah, it does look crazy. Yeah, it does look crazy.
Groceries and your J's.
But this is the thing about it. All right, they might be campaigning a certain Jordan to you on Walmart.
And when you
get definitely are not able to get that specific one. Like it's out of stock.
I just think that's terrible because you get to a point where you have to decide if you're gonna get your J's or if your family gonna eat. And it's like I'm tired of them talking about me at work.
I'm tired of them talking to me. I can get the J's and just get the Walmart brand of stuff.
Hey, you come home with hella what's that brand? What is they?
Great Value.
Great Value, my nigga. You come in there with hella great.
Well, brand
value.
new J's on.
My nigga, the fam like kicked your ass.
They got a great
out.
value on everything. The J's
come in like they got everything up there.
Yeah. Are those True Religions? So
I know the Colts came out with a clothing line.
Yeah, Great Value J's, man. Come on, bro.
Hey, speaking of J's, Jordan has been listed as the richest athlete with a net worth of $3.5 billion.
He been eating since the 80s, yeah.
Well, see, I thought that, if I'm not mistaken, athletes wasn't getting millions of dollars like that. Like because 30 million was good.
Jordan.
Well, even Jordan was paid fairly low compared to what. Like, put it like this: I think a person like Jordan Poole is getting way bigger and better contracts than Jordan ever got
because of the shift in everything. You like back then, what he was making.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. For the 90s. Yeah, for sure.
For the 80s.
Well, yeah, the 80s. Yeah.
For the 80s, he was eating like sneaker deal, right? And then in the 90s came Gatorade. And, you know what I'm saying? All of these other deals. And at the time the deals were made, they were made for one of the best. First, initially, it was one of the top rated players, right? But then once the 90s hit, he really started running it up as far as in like basketball wise. All of his deals reflected the best basketball player on the court, or the most noticeable, or the most brand worthy.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the time those deals were made, they were made with him being the ideal candidate and him getting the best numbers possible for the deals at that time. Just imagine if there was somebody who had the dominance of Jordan getting paid. Look at LeBron's deal.
Now LeBron has
look at the Nike deal that he had coming in the door.
Yeah,
right.
I think it's impressive that because I feel like this 3.5 billion net worth has a lot to do with what he did outside of basketball. To me, that's the impressive part to me.
If you're talking about like, you know what I'm saying? Nah, not even a movie. We're talking more like about he owns a NASCAR racing company.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at. Like the moves that were made.
He has a real estate portfolio. You understand what I'm saying? He is a partial owner of a whole basketball team, right? You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, if you look, all right, yeah, basketball this, basketball that, but all of his deals, all of his contracts came because of what he did on the court that allowed him to have enough money to expand and do things outside of basketball.
Yeah.
Like at one point, a lot of people were frustrated with him because he was a big investor in the prison system and a lot of different things going on as far as that went.
Yeah.
And so, but he was looking at it from a point of, capitalizing, making the best deals to bring in the most money and make things happen from a financial aspect. And when you get to a certain point, like, first of all, coming into the door way back in the 80s,
Yeah.
because of who his parents were, how things went, how things operated, he had a better understanding of things
Yeah.
than most did.
Yeah.
And from that point of understanding, he only grew in his knowledge of how to maneuver, how to go about things, how to
Right.
make certain deals, and what worked in his best interest. So if you have that understanding and that knowledge and you grow in that and you maneuver a certain way, of course you're going to continue to go up, up, and up. And due to the fact that he was the player that he was on the court, his longevity as far as his name and his branding has continued to be relevant without him even being on the court for the last, what is this, 24? Like, when he retired?
Like 2000, was it 2003 or something like that?
Nah.
Hell nah. Earlier than that.
No, he played on the Wizards, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it was like 2000, I want to say like 2003 maybe, 2004?
We're going to find out right now.
Or it was either 03 or 04 or 02 or 03, I believe. Because him
03.
3.
And that's what I'm saying. So 20 years. It's been 20 years since he's been on the court, and he is still relevant, right? His brand, his shoes, still relevant, right?
Yeah.
You probably could sing the Gatorade song from the I feel Be Like Mike campaign.
Yeah.
Right? You remember that. You remember all of the commercials, right? With Michael Jackson and Spike Lee and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? A lot of events and things happen regarding his shoes.
Yeah.
So his imprint, right? His legacy, his brand, his name has allowed him to do so much and capitalize off of everything. Everything.
Absolutely.
So yeah, of course, a lot of it has to do with outside of basketball, but it's because of basketball that allowed him to do so much.
Well, that's
other
what
places.
that's
Like
what
his name
impressed.
carries
That's
weight.
what impressed me is because there's tons of athletes that could have did what Jordan did. You know what I'm saying? That could have capitalized, and the key word is could have, but didn't. You know what I mean? And I think that's dope, and I think that sends a great message that you do have to have a game plan outside of when, from where that time comes to where you've gotten the most out of what you've put into something. And I think that's it's kind of a paradigm example to look at what he's continuing to do in life, and how a lot of individuals have to look at that within themselves. You
got to make your money work for you.
Yeah.
When you work hard enough to get a certain amount of money, then you have to understand how you can make that money work for you and do so and remain consistent.
Exactly.
Like, nobody's gonna hoop, play football, play baseball forever. And even if you're a surgeon, right, at some point you're not going to be as keen and sharp and have steady hands and
Exactly.
everything forever. It doesn't really matter what your profession or your career is.
Yeah.
Because at some point things can come to an end.
Yeah.
And due to no fault of your own. So having an understanding of how to make your money work for you long term, thinking long term, investing now for money later, right? Collaborating with people now to build relationships that will benefit you later,
Yep.
right? You have to think long term, the long game, and a lot of people don't do that.
Nope, they don't.
They don't think that far out. They are not only living in the moment, but only thinking for the moment.
Yeah, it's a what's next concept you have to continuously have in your mind. Kind of goes back to what we were saying about the pink sauce lady. She was feeling it, thinking it's going to be forever. It's just like social media now, right? As huge as it is, there's going to come a time where everything, Instagram, TikTok, is going to be like, remember when people used to do this? Remember when people used to hold their phone up and do it? And it's going to be the next thing, and you're going to have to be able to adapt and evolve with that.
Remember MySpace?
Yeah. Remember MySpace, remember Black Planet. Hell, remember Vine?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's all of these different things, and
Fine, man.
yeah, and
That's
you take
one of the
that.
ones that what's the ones that left that you like, Vine.
Yeah, I hated to see that go.
What did you hate to see go?
I hated to see Vine go. I kind of miss Black Planet a little bit. Black Planet was hilarious to me. I miss Instant Messenger. Instant Messenger was fun.
AOL?
Yeah, Instant Messenger was dope. Little things like that. You know what I'm saying? But now,
KB Toys. Nigga.
well, a lot. Yeah. I mean, if you go down, we can't go down that list today, man. We can't even go down that
Toys
list.
R Us, Circuit City.
What,
Yeah.
nigga?
Radio Shack.
Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Hollywood Video.
Yo. Blockbuster on a Friday night was popping.
Yeah.
Nigga, what?
Going over there to see.
Never get the popular video games. They're gone.
Yeah. But if you did make it, bruh.
What?
Never wanted that weekend to end, right?
Video game and 2
I'm gonna be real.
movies?
It even felt like fast food tasted better back then.
Oh, it did
did
because
taste
it
better.
had more
Real food
ingredients.
in it.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember I watched something and they were talking about, no, let's keep it 100. Bro, remember when Pizza Hut back in the day?
Yeah.
They were like,
It used to be one of them ones.
Yep.
they were untouchable.
Round Table was always super.
You talking about
fire.
Pizza Hut with the red roof?
Yes,
Yeah.
that one before
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
remixed it.
Yeah.
Because that new one is like
Nah, it ain't the same.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
mediocre. It's
I'm trying to be nice, bro.
okay.
You probably did.
We ain't
One
got
day
our
we
ads yet.
we might be
That's why.
sponsored.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we ain't got ads yet.
You know, it's 2 months from now. We like, yo, this Pizza Hut.
I don't know what we were saying last season.
Is this the pan crust? My gosh.
Nah, real talk. It's a lot of things that left that I hated to see go for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, times change. You have to evolve or transition. I guess
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
necessarily want to say evolve because in a lot of ways, some of these things and these
They
places,
never evolve.
They devolve.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
But you have to transition.
Yeah.
Nothing stays the same. Changes happen. They occur. You know, have to move on.
It's almost like you wish you could have the best of both worlds. Like I wish the food was good and we had DoorDash back then, or I wish that we had more time with video games and we could play online. Like there's certain things when you say that things devolved, I do agree, and then it's just unfortunate that happened along with what innovation has done too.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, we get to do this, we get to do that, and you know what I mean?
Imagine WrestleMania 2000 and you could play it online.
Yeah.
64, bro.
Well, I mean, you kind of.
NWO?
I mean, you actually
No.
can play on the Switch a lot of the retro games online now.
Yeah, but only on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's something.
That's crazy.
If you have a Switch. Otherwise, it's nothing. Moving on.
I got a Switch.
It's Switch topics.
Yo, before we close out, Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. Would have been 45 years old this past week. And my question to you guys is, how important do you think his influence has been? Do you think it's kind of been recognized more in his absence? Do you see not enough respect being put on his name? What do you see as far as his impact now that all we have is to reflect on his legacy?
For me, it's kind of odd the way Kobe's legacy is because he is the fear that he instilled in players, and then the respect level that players have for him. But then he's not in the conversation of. I mean, I guess he was. It seemed like people were always forgetting to include him in the conversation.
Yeah.
Not saying that he is as better than Jordan or LeBron, but it was like people always forgot to include his name in those conversations. In his death, I've seen respect, but yeah, to me, Kobe's legacy is like the guy who everyone pretty much has the same level of respect for. I feel like, yeah, ain't no smut on his name besides that situation. You know, but
Man, there's not enough respect on his name. And unfortunately, I feel like outside of basketball, his impact and influence isn't really there. I feel like a lot of people just choose to not acknowledge him in the regard that they should. And like I feel like certain things are even watered down when it comes to certain players in the league because they'll sit there and say, "Oh, he has that Mamba mentality." I don't think there's anybody in the NBA right now who has that Mamba mentality.
No one.
No one. And for them to say, "Oh, he trained with, he played with, he worked out with, he's showing that." Nobody. There
That's
was
what I
all
wanted
right.
to say.
There might be
That's what I wanted
one
to say.
individual. Might be one individual and that's Kyrie. He would be the only person I said who like has a essence of the Mamba mentality because he plays in a blackout way. There's no friends on the court. There's no buddy. He goes at you. He goes at you hard, and he's gonna give you everything. That's how Kobe was. Like I've only ever really seen two like assassins on the court, like blackout, and it was Jordan and Kobe. It was, and they say, "Oh, who's one, who's two, and three?" Bro, Jordan is 1A, Kobe is 1B, and everybody else is whatever, right? You feel me? Like so, like that's just what it is. Like if you want, who's number 2? I'd say Magic Johnson.
See, I agree with what you're saying because Kobe, they speak about Kobe in a certain manner, but then when it comes to like putting him up there in these conversations that he should be mentioned in, it's like they have those things. He got the Mamba mentality, or they mention his name in certain ways, but it's kind of like not the same respect is given to him when it's coming to like
the daily conversation.
You sit up here and say Jordan is the best player, right? And then turn around and say the closest we've ever seen to Jordan is Kobe. So then there's it's Jordan, and then there's Kobe, and then that's just what it is. And depending on how you're looking at it and how you're building your team and how you feel about things, it might be Kobe, and then it might be Jordan. I've talked to a lot of people who will put Kobe before Jordan when building a team, and I can't argue that. So, and then it's like, as far as in like the world is concerned, I feel like a lot of people do a lot of things for show, and there's not a whole lot of authenticity or a genuine emotion behind it. And I say that somebody coming from the sneaker culture and looking at how Kobe's are treated now versus when he was living and how Kobe's were regarded, right? All of a sudden there's such this high regard for Kobe sneakers, and they're selling out, and the resale value is high and everything because he's no longer with us.
That's corny.
But when he was here, you could acquire Kobe's fairly easy,
super easy,
right? And I know individuals who have full Kobe collections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9s, the elites, the 10s. Like they had Kobe's, they were Kobe fans. And they weren't just Kobe fans, they were Laker fans as well. And I know a lot of individuals who are Laker fans and Kobe fans, and their energy behind how they felt about him is the same now, if not amplified. And I can respect that. But for all of these new individuals who come about, and now that he's not here, now you want a pair of Kobe's, and Kobe was this, and Mamba mentality, and happy 824 day, and all of this stuff. When you didn't have that energy beforehand, it's like appreciating something once it's gone. But if you really acknowledge what he was when he was here, you would have appreciated him then. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. I was never a Kobe fan because I feel he, how can I put this? I feel like he was extremely arrogant, right? Always respected his game. Always respected his game. But I feel like he was kind of arrogant, right? After he retired and he started doing more interviews, being more open, then I started to have that understanding of why he was the way he was because of his mindset and how he approached things that allowed me to have more respect for him in that aspect, and then appreciate his game even more because now I have an understanding of it.
You go back and you watch it with a different lens.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. It makes sense. And then to hear some of the stories about him, it makes sense because when you love something and you take it serious and that's your life and you approach it the same way every day with a certain level of intensity, which is very high, and to be around individuals who don't have the same respect or love for it, right? And don't approach it the same way, not understanding the opportunities that they have, then you start to look at them differently, which is why he didn't pass the ball to a lot, because he didn't trust his teammates because they weren't in the gym at 6 a.m. like he was. They didn't stay after practice and continue to work on their game like he did. So they don't have the same level of love or commitment. So when it's crunch time, how do you expect me to trust them?
Yep.
Mamba mentality, blackout, take over. We're not losing. This is my team. I'll step it up. You challenge me, I'm going to answer the call.
Yeah. I definitely believe that it's hard for me to watch. And sometimes I turn into a sucker and I'll watch comments. I look at some of the comments on a Kobe dedicated post. And I just think that, you know, for me watching him as a kid, I have a jersey right now, number 8 jersey, champion jersey. And a neighbor gave me the jersey when I was living in Bakersfield. And at the time, the jersey went to my knees, right? And then around the time when I met this brother right here, I used to hoop in that jersey in junior high all the time. So I just had a love for his game. Back then, he was an Iverson fan. I was a Kobe fan. You couldn't tell him nothing about Iverson, couldn't tell me nothing about Kobe. Sure. And the thing that I appreciated is I always felt like when people talked about him, they talked about him with the underdog type of tone. But then at the end of the day, it's almost when he proves you wrong, he cheated. You know what I'm saying? And so when I watch sports analysts, people that I don't think that would say the things they say if he was still here. Because one thing about Kobe that you hear now is how he would call them up, like how Stephen A. Smith explained. When he called him up and said, man, don't you ever go look at the tape. Go look at the tape and go see. You know what I mean? Like he had that fear in people too, where it's like, I'm gonna have to deal with him. Because he would break you down. I mean, even when he used to break people's game down. Kind of like how Peyton Manning does for quarterbacks and stuff like that.
And that's another thing, bro. Like, he broke other individuals, basketball players' games down. And there was never a challenge. There was never an issue. He actually made them players better. How many individuals do you know that could break down another basketball player game and it be taken in a respectful manner?
Yeah. Got to be a true student.
As constructive criticism.
True student of the game. True student of the game.
Man, like, yeah, he was top tier when it came to hoop.
And I do think that you know, it's always fun to have a conversation of like comparing players because you got your favorites and this, that, and the other. But I think sometimes fans, because I feel like this conversation is, what I'm about to say is more for basketball fans and sports analysts. I think basketball fans and sports analysts need to start listening to the people that actually did it at the highest level. Because when you listen to people that actually did it at the highest level, they're giving all the praise and all the flowers to Kobe Bryant. You understand what I'm saying? And it's whether it's Shaquille O'Neal, I think Shaquille O'Neal and Magic both said that he was probably the greatest Laker ever. You understand what I'm saying? Michael Jordan calls him his little brother. How many players has he referred to as his younger brother? Basically acknowledging the fact that, yo, this was me when I left. You know what I mean? And so when people bring up all these other players, mainly comparing them to like a LeBron and things like that, I think when you listen to even the words of LeBron, there was an interview where he was even asked, who's better between you and Kobe Bryant? He could have refrained from answering a question. He could say, I'm not going to get into it. He said, no, I believe Kobe is better. Right. Especially, right now. Yeah. And so even though I feel like he doesn't get enough respect, I do think he gets plenty of respect from those that matter in the conversation.
Those that understand.
Yes. And those that understand. And I definitely hope that in the future, the others can catch up. You know what I mean? I definitely hope that, because like I said, anybody that's played against that man, whether it's LeBron James, whether it's Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady, I mean, the list goes on. They will tell you, yo, this dude was a technician. This dude had a mentality. This dude, you know, we just coming in to warming up, and he's drenched in sweat from shooting around him. You know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, I've been at it. And then the thing about it is like, there is a high level of respect, like you said, from a lot of people who understand and who know. That's why they're going to present Kobe's statue next year.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Of course, in year 2024.
Exactly.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like he gets enough respect for the player that he was. And to be honest, the person that he was, you got to see a lot more of his personality and the type of individual he was once he retired. And I actually started to like him a lot more after he retired, because I got to see more of who he was.
It's almost like somebody you work with and like, damn, man, outside of work, they cool as hell.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, and then it's like, it just, you know, it was definitely too soon.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, I agree.
And, you know, that's the saddening thing about it. And so I can understand how a lot of people respond or operate moving when it comes to the topic of Kobe Bryant. But on the same breath, like I said, some people are fake about it, and I don't really appreciate that, especially when we're talking about an individual who was extremely real in all aspects.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The energy just isn't matching, and I don't like that.
Yeah, that part is not the greatest. But yeah, definitely, I agree. I hope that people catch up as far as an acknowledgement, and I'm definitely gonna cover when they reveal what the statue looks like and stuff like that. I've heard speculation that Gigi might have something dedicated to her as well regarding that. And just touch up on that a little bit. Like, I was excited to see her growth and what he was doing with her and her basketball team and stuff like that. You know, because you see, once he retired, she was with him everywhere he went. You know what I'm saying? Sidelines and all of that stuff. So,
you know, there was an interview, and I remember him saying, like, some people was like, "Oh, too bad you don't have a son to carry on your legacy with you." He was like, "Nah, bro. Gigi got it.
Yeah,
she got me.
Yep,
we good.
Yeah,
like Gigi, like." And then if you actually watch some footage of her old games and whatnot, she had it.
Oh, she had the cheat code. She was she was emulating her dad like
a lot.
Whoa,
a lot.
Yeah,
she wasn't just courtside watching the game. She was studying.
Mm-hmm.
She was paying attention.
Yep.
She was taking notes. She was taking his advice, his guidance, and actually implementing it. Right. She was nice.
Oh yeah. But yeah, man. Shout out to Kobe. We gonna end on that note. You know what I mean? This your boy Dizzy D Spill. You've been tuning in to the Notion podcast here with my co-host
Jelani Evans,
Farmer Poe.
You already know what to do. Like, subscribe, leave comments. I'm pretty sure y'all got a lot to say about some of the topics we covered. So you know where to find us. You can find us on the YouTube channel. You can find us on our personal Instagram pages. If you want to argue with Poe about the proper way to grow tomatoes, if you want to argue with Jelani about Air Force Ones, if you want to argue if you want to argue with me about rapping, I definitely don't mind battle rapping you at this point. But anyways, make sure you like and subscribe and follow us and tune in every week for a new episode of the Notion podcast. I'm sorry Poe's phone was going off the whole time and he was struggling. But it happens, man.
It happens with Poe.
Yeah, just with Poe. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, every team's got to have a mascot. Anyways, you've been tuning into the Notion. Appreciate it. Until next time, peace.